I'm back, Rhodes for the Matrixx and Rhodes show, and we're going to talk about Alec Baldwin because it seems he has made himself look worse. Yeah, believe it or not, I guess he still had room to make himself look worse. A spoiled Hollywood elite involved in the death of Halyna Hutchins, the cinematographer from the movie Rust. Well, he has come out and he has made some comments. And man, sometimes perception is a thing. And he has made himself look even more tacky. Making these comments right here about this case in which he's being sued for a wrongful death along with several others. We cannot forget he was a producer on this movie. Alec Baldwin hopeful we will not be held criminally responsible for Rust shooting. Look, that's not the comments I'm talking about. Wait till I get to them. Because, I mean, they're terrible. Alec Baldwin addressed Rust tragedy Saturday during the film festival in Boulder, Colorado. The actor was holding a gun that discharged on a New Mexico movie set October 21st, killing cinematographer Halyna Hutchins and injuring director Joel Souza. Baldwin continues to maintain his innocence and said in a televised interview he did not pull the trigger. His statements have angered Hutchins' husband, who has since filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Baldwin. Quote, the idea that the person holding the gun and causing it to discharge is not responsible is absurd to me. Matthew Hutchins told the Today Show in an interview last month, but gun safety was not the only problem on that set, Hutchins added. There were a number of industry standards that were not practiced, and there's multiple responsible parties. Lawyers filed a wrongful death lawsuit on behalf of Matthew Hutchins and his February 15th, naming Baldwin and others, quote, are responsible for the safety on the set as defendants. Well, he is a producer of the movie. The suit also alleges reckless behavior and cost-cutting that led to the death of Halyna Hutchins. Now, this is where it's going to start sounding real bad. In addition to Matthew Hutchins and a handful of Rust crew members that have filed lawsuits against Baldwin in the Rust production, during the interview at the Boulder International Film Festival special event programmer and panel moderator Ron Bostwick opened the floor to Baldwin, 63. Baldwin spoke about how there were, quote, 2 victims, while also seemingly suggesting there are some people who have filed suits that are, quote, financially motivated. They're going after deep pocket legions. Wow, okay. So in other words, they think he's got money, so they're trying to get it. Interesting. Quote, from the beginning, from the moment this happened, everybody has put out, besides all the anguish and suffering and horrible feelings we have, and of course there are 2 victims, and nobody else is a victim, so to speak. We have dealt with a situation where specific people are not interested in finding out what really happened, Baldwin said, according to THR. What you have is a certain group of allegiance on whatever side who their attitude is, well, the people who likely seem negligent have enough money, and the people who have money are not negligent. Interesting. And the people who have money are not negligent. But we're not going to stop and let that stop us from doing what we need to do in terms of litigation. Why sue people if you're not going to get money? That's what you're doing. Wow. So Alec Baldwin has succeeded in calling Matthew Hutchins, the now widower of the cinematographer that lost her life, he's calling them money hungry. Wow. Baldwin also compared people dying on film sets to people dying while working in other industries. He asked attendees to think of all the billions of rounds of ammunition that were fired on movie and TV sets in the last 75 years, and 4 people have died. And then compare that to the record of the opioid industry, the airline industry, the automobile industry, and the gun industry itself. Great, you went after guns. Oh, unbelievable. The outlet reports Baldwin highlighted the safety record of the film and television industry, noting that there is a chain of command when it comes to handling weapons on the set. He suggested that breaking that protocol is illegal and against the rules. He reportedly said his career has been without incidents, and he had never had a problem when he relies on the safety expert. So he's trying to put this on the armorer, is my guess, which I kind of figured he would. When someone whose job it is to ensure the safety of the weapon hands someone else whose job it was to be the secondary layer of protection for safety, and they hand it over to you and you declare that weapon is safe, that's how I've lived my whole career, he said. I've relied on the safety experts there to declare the gun is safe and hand me the gun. I've never had a problem. In all likelihood, Baldwin said, live weapons will be a thing of the past and films will rely on computer-generated imagery. The thing to remember is that guns are fired in films because that's what the audiences want. Maybe not this crowd, he said. Maybe not a festival crowd where you want to watch something that's a little more complicated. There's a place to modify the safety regulations we have to deal with, and I'm going to very much look forward to our decisions. Baldwin remembered Halyna as someone who wasn't just loved by people, she was admired, and he also spoke about how his life has changed. I'm very hopeful when the facts come out that we will not be held criminally responsible, but it has changed my life. And I don't mean this in the ordinary sense that I am involved in something or somebody passed, he said. I mean I was involved in a situation with somebody killed. It changed my life just in terms of the function of weapons and films and television. Wow, okay. When Baldwin's inclusion plans were first revealed for the festival last month, it prompted a negative reaction on Twitter, calling the choice disappointing, terrible, shameful, and embarrassing. Fox News Digital attempted to cover the event, but was turned down. Baldwin reps requested that the outlets that do not normally attend the film festival not be granted credentials. Wow, okay. So, in other words, he controlled the media that was allowed to be there on top of this all. So nobody was there to actually press him on anything because he controlled it. Amazing. Amazing. Here we go. And now he's calling the victim's husband, just basically saying they're money hungry. They're money hungry. I know he lost his wife and the son lost his mother, but they're money hungry. They know I'm a rich person with money, so they're coming to get me. Wow. There's a wildly tacky comments. Horrible comments from Alec Baldwin. And, you know, he goes on, he says something there about the fact that his life has changed, but not because somebody had passed, but because he thinks the filmmaking firearm industry that may influence change there. What? What? Are you kidding me? I mean, he's starting to look not remorseful at all, if you ask me. And I continue to say, he thinks he's the victim here. Alec Baldwin believes he is the victim. I mean, I understand when all you've had for the last 25 years is people pampering you as a Hollywood star. I'm sure it changes your perspective in some way. Now, it is still odd that the Santa Fe district attorney said she was able to replicate what he was saying about a revolver discharging without having pulled the trigger, that they actually ran that experiment and it actually happened. But I'm skeptical of some things in that, too, just based on the fact that if the district attorney is giving interviews to Vanity Fair, are you trying to become a star out of this, too? If you think that doesn't happen with attorneys, please see every celebrity trial ever. They all want to write a book, etc., etc., etc. We know how this goes. We know how this goes. Remember OJ? And I know this isn't on that level, but you get the point. People want to be stars, including prosecuting attorneys. That's a thing. Yeah, so he's missing the point. Again, you're a producer on the film. So I don't know how he's found not guilty as a producer. I don't know how that will happen for him. Maybe literally pulling the trigger, that part of the lawsuit, if that is split somehow, or if I would assume the lawyer would have filed multiple lawsuits under, multiple different ways of winning at least some of the lawsuit. But him being producer, he's got responsibility of the film. That's such a big deal here. It's not like he was just an actor and somebody else produced it. And look, if somebody else was producing it, which there was probably multiple people, they might be getting sued as well, right? Okay, so Kathleen Kennedy. Oh, we shudder to think, but Kathleen Kennedy is producing this movie. She would probably be getting sued right now, too. No shit. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.